What's up, everybody? We made it to the end of another week, and ironically, we're going to try Sip of Sunshine, a beer that's actually been in my life quite a bit in my old days living up north, but I wish today was a little more of a shine of sunshine. So let's take an old trip down memory lane and get into this right after the intro. Welcome on back inside the Midland studio, as per usual, with your host, yours truly, Nutmeg 2, Paul Maddell. This is definitely a trip down memory lane. This used to be all over the place in Connecticut, called Lawson's Finest Liquids Sip of Sunshine IPA. And I don't know whether it's just ignorance or not noticing it, or my usual tendency to not really partake in beers out of the liquor store that I see all the time, because I see all the time, I can get it anytime, so I just kind of put it off. There's actually some interesting factoids about this that I did not ever realize. First of all, it's not a light beer by any stretch. It checks in at 8%, so it's pretty much double IPA territory, despite it not. Oh well, that's not true. On Untappd, it is describing itself as a double IPA, despite the can not describing itself as such. The little blurb on the side: our lupulin-laden India Pale Ale is packed with juicy tropical fruit character, bright floral aromas, and delectable layers of hop flavor. Pour mindfully, inhale deeply, and enjoy a tropical vacation in a glass. And I believe that is exactly what it says on Untappd, with an extra line on there that says, always store cold, enjoy fresh, and stay cool. Little extra blurb on the can: Lawson's Finest Liquids is a family-owned, award-winning brewery, taproom, and retail store located at the Mad River Valley of Vermont. Sip of Sunshine IPA is brewed by Lawson's Finest Liquids in Stratford, Connecticut at Two Roads Brewing Company. Learn more at lawsonsfinest.com. So, I did not know that they did a lot of their brewing out of Two Roads, which is, of course, in my hometown. So, of course, it wouldn't be right if I didn't have it in my Two Roads glass. So, little interesting fact, though, I never realized that they're not, I can't call them a Connecticut beer because they're from out of Vermont, but they definitely have some Connecticut roots, and it makes sense why I saw them all the time, because the easiest distro is right in your own town, right? So, I haven't had this in quite a long way, so I'm excited to take a trip down memory lane with you fine folks and refresh the old cobwebs and gears up there. Let's crack it open. Let's not waste any more time, shall we? Top this off for you. Now, as soon as I popped the can, I got blasted with this very lovely, present, light, lemony type of note. So that was super enticing already. I'll let you look at the top of the pour as always. Nice, creamy, rich, frothy head. Brought to you by that wonderful hard pour. The color, it's kind of golden. It's not super bright orange by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not that like malty, dark West Coast type of color either. It is darker than I expected. I don't know why. Maybe I just always got it mixed up in my head with Leinenkugels. But for some reason, Sip of Sunshine always rang true to me as a shandy or something like that, or something more lemon-based, something more light, spritzy, effervescent, that sort of thing. So the color's a little darker than I was expecting. Maybe I never had this before. I don't know. Maybe it's just something I saw all the time and assumed, I must have had this at some point in my life because it's everywhere. Let's get the nose. Yeah, that lemon's there. Definitely present. It's definitely noticeable. It balances, almost snorted that. It balances a bit with some orange. There's definitely some orange in there, but it's not necessarily competing, but blending well with that lemon type of scent. Very enticing aroma, albeit if the color doesn't always make sense to the aroma. I mean, the orange, yes, but you smell lemon, you expect a lighter colored beer. In any event, let's not waste any more time. Yeah, take a sip. That's a little different than what I would expect. All right. So this beer, it's hitting certain notes on the palate that I wasn't expecting. And maybe that's due to my own ignorance because it says clear as day right on Untappd what the IBU is, and it's 65. So that's pretty high. It definitely has a bitter aftertaste now. The up front, not so much. It definitely comes in with some of that natural hoppiness. Definitely orange, some orange, some citrus notes, that sort of thing. But definitely being taken over by a bitterness, a certain type of maltiness, that sort of thing. And then as it goes through works through your palate, as it gets to the way back end, you get a lot more of that bitterness comes through a lot. And that's where the majority of the taste sits there on it. And it's ranked pretty well. I mean, it's got over 500,000 total check-ins. Over 208,000 unique check-ins. So it's certainly got a large sample size for this rating, and people rated over 4. So I'm certainly not to the point where I think like my IPA palate necessarily always matches up with the rest of the world's IPA palate. I like a little bit more of that soft juiciness, not so much that like punch you in the teeth kind of bite. And this one has a bit more of that, so maybe I'm just not there with the rest of the world as far as what they like in IPAs, which, I don't know, I'm not super upset by that. I'm not super surprised by it either. It is what it is, right? I don't remember when the last time I had this was. I guess I'll have to check it on Untappd in a bit when we're done and see what I thought about it in the past. If it's there, maybe it's not there. Maybe it was something I drank before Untappd. Now I did get this in the Common Man Brew Reviews July Secret Santa giveaway, and I was, as I've said before in a previous video, another beer I got from that package. I was a little bit surprised with the beers I received as far as the styles I had requested as my favorite styles. So some of them, there was a West Coast IPA, which that's not one of my favorite styles at all. And then there's a Pilsner, which, if you got a good Pilsner or a good craft Pilsner, I'll drink it. But it's definitely not something I necessarily go to right away. And then this, which I kind of got a chuckle out of, was like, Lawson's. Of all the beers to make its way down to me, a beer that I could walk to at any point in the day, any day of the week where I used to live, and just grab one or grab a 6-pack or 12-pack or whatever, just grab it off the shelf, if I want, at the drop of a hat if I wanted to. So of all the beers to wind up in that package. Yeah, I was a little bit set up by the aroma as far as what I was expecting, and it didn't exactly match up to that expectation. But in any event, it was very nice to take a trip down memory lane and drink a beer that I certainly haven't seen in a long time, and probably hadn't had in quite even longer. If you like what you saw, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell to know exactly when videos like this drop straight to you on your phone, mobile device, tablet, computer, what have you. If you want to recommend a beer to me, or maybe even send me a beer, email me, nutmeg2palmetto@gmail.com. We'll sort out all the fine details. And if this wasn't enough of my antics and nonsense, follow me on my social media channels, TikTok and Instagram, @nutmeg2palmetto, for just more of that. As you can tell, it's definitely carbonated because it's giving me a little bit of And in any event, I'll sip on this. I don't necessarily know if I'll rate it too high, but at the same time, that's just my palate compared to the rest of the IPA drinking world. Cheers, folks. I'll see you next time.